Bruce Lee, the video game from 1984, was actually quite the popular game back in the day and available on many systems. It started life on the Atari 8-bit line of home computers and was possibly the first ever platformer that had you collecting items. The game was designed by Ron J. Fortier, with graphics by Kelly Day and music by John A. Fitzpatrick. Datasoft were responsible for publishing the game across some of the available formats. In a one-player game, you take control of Bruce Lee, making your way through 20 chambers, each represented by a single screen, with platforms and ladders. To progress, the player must collect a number of lanterns suspended from various points in the chamber. It sounds easy, and to be honest, it kinda is for a game of this age. The tight and precise controls really make this a joy to play. I just love the way you can do flying kicks into enemies. I also love the old school split-second timing for avoiding traps. Bruce Lee may look bad these days, but it's still a fun classic game. Let's take a look at the MSX port. Visually, I don't think this looks as good as the Atari 8-bit line of home computers, but that's okay. What's not okay is the way the game plays. It just feels wrong compared to the original. You can even see from the way Bruce jumps that something is not right. On the bright side, it's now much easier to make long jumps and to outrun the enemies. Sadly, this is just an okay version of a classic. Just listen to that delightful music coming from your ZX Spectrum. Music like that normally means you're in for a bad time, but not this time. Bruce Lee on the ZX Spectrum is actually really good. The graphics are clear and easy to see. Controls are perfect and the whole game moves at a very nice pace. I was actually very surprised. I was half expecting a half-assed port of the MSX version, if the truth be told. Well, what would you know? Yet another good port. This Amstrad CPC version plays just like the ZX Spectrum one, but now with a little more colour and a few more sound effects. I will say that it's easier to die in this port due to the enemies taking off more damage each time they hit you, but even with that, this is still an excellent port. Even the humble education system, the BBC Micro, received a port of Bruce Lee. This is a fairly competent port. It contains all the stages but is missing some traps and enemies. It also has an annoying feature that requires the main character to be perfectly centered on a ladder in order to climb off the top of it. Little things like this kinda ruin the game. With that said though, this is still a fun little title for the BBC Micro. After the slightly disappointing BBC Micro port, the good old Commodore 64 puts us back into the quality ports camp. Nice use of colours and sound add to the perfect gameplay in this blocky looking but fun port. As to be expected, Bruce Lee made his way onto the IBM Compatible PCs. Yet this is again another pretty good port that packs in everything that all the other good ports do. Solid controls, easy to understand graphics, and a fair challenge. This is the Apple II port, and it seems to be based upon the Amstrad CPC version. I say that because the enemies seem to react as they do on that version of the game. They also take more damage from you when they attack. That's not to say the Apple II port is bad. It's still a great and worthy addition to your collection. Now, so far, every system we've seen this game running on has been a Western home computer. Well, the MSX is Japanese in origin, but was released in the West. One system that wasn't widely available in the West though was the NEC PC 8801. Yet this also received a port of Bruce Lee. So did the Fujitsu FM77, but unfortunately I can't show you that version. This port has some interesting colour choices for some areas, and a few nice sound effects here and there, but besides that, it is very similar to its Western counterparts. And let's take a look at all those versions of Bruce Lee running side by side.